Hello and welcome to From Our Correspondent. It's a program that serves you with the happenings across the country, from the Volta, Central, Eastern, Western, North Bono, Ashanti, Boga, not forgetting Wa. My name is Richard K Nyarko and I'm pleased to serve you today. Welcome. In our first story, the peasant farmers at the Koyuru community in the Kasana-Nankana West District of the Upper East Region are calling on government to improve access to farming inputs such as fertilizers and tractor services for them. The farmers say last year, through the intervention of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, they were able to get fertilizers and other farm inputs for their farming activities. However, with the increase in the prices of goods this year, they are afraid they will not have a good farming season. They were speaking at an award ceremony organized by the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana for farmers in the area. Upper East Regional correspondent Abesori has more.
In the year 2021, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana supported farmers here at Kayoro in the Kasana-Nankana West District to get access to government-subsidized fertilizers for their farming activities. The Kayoro community is in a rural area very far from the district capital, Paga, and this often made it difficult for farmers here to get access to the fertilizers. The Peasant Farmers Association also supported farmers here to grow sorghum and lobbied for brewery company Guinness Ghana Limited to purchase the sorghum to feed their brewery. Ahead of this farming season, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana decided to award farmers here in Kayoro who performed well in the last farming season. Executive Director for the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Dr. Charles Nyaba, said the awards were meant to encourage the farmers to do more this season.
If you take 2021 till date, you realize that cost of production in any commodity has more than quadrupled. Because of that, many people are dropping out of the farming. Even business people who saw the communication about planting for food and jobs and were attracted to do farming are all dropping out. So we have organized this award system to motivate the farmers to continue to produce.
He said the upcoming farming season could prove to be difficult for smallholder farmers, and if they are not motivated, many of them could give up on farming.
Government subsidy fertilizer is now 320 Ghana cedis for the 50 kg. Cost of agro inputs like glyphosate and other pesticides that we used to buy for 25 Ghana cedis is now going for 60 Ghana cedis. Tractor services that we used to get it between 100 and 120 is now going for 250 to 300 Ghana cedis. As a farmer, we are business people. So if you invest in and then your cost of production goes up, you also save the cost to consumers. So consumers will also be prepared to pay more for food come 2023. So my immediate appeal to government to help farmers to remain in business, for us to be able to supply food to meet the demands of consumers, is to quickly pay monies that they own fertilizer importers.
Paul Benia was awarded the overall best farmer for his achievement in sorghum farming last year. He wants the government to support the Peasant Farmers Association to do more for farmers like those of them here in Kayoro.
We have to pass through two different districts. That is Bulsa North, then you go to Kasana-Nankana Municipal, before you go to Kasana-Nankana West. To go and compete with other farmers there to get fertilizer is always a problem for us. And sometimes before you even hear that there's a fertilizer in the district, before you get it, it has even finished. So we plead with the government that if there's any kind of support, they should always remember us here.
Some women farmers here in Kayoro also shared the challenges they face, which they want the government to address.
Look at this soil, it cannot germinate with the fertilizer. So assume the fertilizer comes in a later, how will you be able to use it? So sometimes the challenge we have is the fertilizer. And even if you will get it later in the farming season, which is not always helping.
When it is raining season, we don't have tractors. We are suffering. If somebody will tell you that he or she will come and farm for you with cattle, the person will delay you. The time you farm and the time has passed, you won't get anything. So we are appealing to you people that if you can help us with tractors,
The paramount chief of the Kayoro traditional area, Per Oscar Batabi Tiyamo II, said another major problem for farmers in his community is the bad nature of the road which links the community to major towns such as Chiana and Navrongo.
It has been there for so many years without even a single grain of gravel on it. The need for the road to be repaired is very, very important because we are predominantly farmers in Kayoro. And the nature of the road, farming and then your produce, having your produce, not being able to transport them is something that is not good for the farmer.
For now, the farmers here in Kayoro will prepare for the new farming season with hopes that they will be able to break even. For Joynews, Albert Sori, reporting from Kayoro.
And in our second story, I take you to the Upper West region, where the national president of the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors of Ghana, Prosper Lady, has stated that despite a huge housing deficit in the country, housing projects whose construction by government could have reduced the deficit are still not complete after decades. He added that those that are completed are also left unoccupied. Prosper Lady, addressing the 13th annual general meeting of the association, called on government to align projects in sync with the National Development Plan outlined by the National Development Commission. Joynews' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafik Salam reports from Wa.
Though aware and not oblivious of the impact the global economy is having on the country, the national president of the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors of Ghana, Prosper Lady, noted that members of the association are frustrated and being chased around by their creditors due to delay by the government to honor their certificates for contracts executed.
Contractors have completed and partially complete contracts which payments are outstanding. We are harassed by creditors, frustrated, unhappy, and our families are depressed because of the constant struggle which the sector faces. The association has therefore arrived at a point where the mountain will have to move to Mohammed. Hence, our team of the AGM.
Prosper Lady also noted that despite the huge housing deficit in the country, there are several houses constructed and completed by the government which are still left unoccupied.
This informal and ad hoc housing system in Ghana is not sustainable in the future. In spite of Ghana's housing deficit, there are multiple completed houses and remain unoccupied, and several which remains incomplete after decades. We look forward to the government of Ghana aligning projects in sync with the development plans established by the National Development Planning Commission.
Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asanso-Boakye, in a speech read on his behalf by the Wa Mayor, Isako Tairu, noted the important role the construction industry plays, since it is one of the driving forces for infrastructure as well as contributing to the sustainable development of the country. Using the last census report, proper housing units, which government is committed to tackling by the delivery of the affordable housing units.
The prevailing strategy of government is to secure land banks and provide the requisite infrastructure services to the sites designated as affordable housing enclaves to leverage private sector investment for affordable housing construction. While doing so, or while doing same, government will strengthen the provision of the requisite tax incentives and exemptions available in our laws to attract private sector capital.
The annual general meeting was held under the theme Private Sector Initiatives to Address Ghana's Housing Deficit. Reporting for Joynews, Rafik Salam.
Let's get back to the Upper East region, and every year, thousands of people suffer the impact of floods in the northern parts of the country. usually due to torrential rains coupled with the spillage of the Bagri Dam in neighboring Burkina Faso. A lot of families become displaced after losing their homes to the floods but get very little or no support from government agencies and organizations. To help prepare for the eventualities of such disasters this year, the Ghana Red Cross Society has organized a humanitarian forum at Bolgatanga in the Upper East region to mobilize resources towards helping families who may get displaced this year to build back their homes. Correspondent Abesori has more in this report.
In the year 2019, thousands of people were rendered homeless after torrential rains and accompanying floods destroyed their homes in some parts of the Upper East region. At least 28 people were reported dead in the disaster. Those affected were generally people who lived in the rural poor communities where the homes are built mainly from mud or clay. Humanitarian organizations like the Ghana Red Cross Society had to step in to provide tents to temporarily shelter some of the homeless. In the year 2020, the Ghana Red Cross Society, with funding support from the Swiss Red Cross, completed and handed over a total of 202 low-cost houses to families in the Upper East region that were rendered homeless after the 2019 floods. This year, the Ghana Red Cross Society wants to prepare towards building more of these homes for families that may get displaced if there are floods. The society, therefore, organized a humanitarian forum to rally the support of individuals and organizations for the cause. Paul Woma is the Upper East Regional Manager of the Ghana Red Cross Society.
Those houses that we have built in partnership with the Department of Rural Housing, those houses are still resilient and they are resisting the torrential rains in the region. So we think that with this idea, we would do more to have more resilient houses in our communities, so that anytime it is a rainy season, we don't sleep and panic that some houses will fall and they will rush to the Red Cross office or the NADMO office seeking for support.
He says the target is to construct about 1,000 more of these homes by the year 2024, starting with what can be done with the funds that will be raised this year.
We are calling on all MPs in the region, all DCEs and district assemblies in the region, the business people in the region, to listen and give an ear to this humanitarian appeal from the Ghana Red Cross Society to support the vulnerable. We are not calling for mansions, we are calling for basic housing for the vulnerable. And 1,000 houses is not a common matter. And if we don't all come together to throw money into a common bowl, one person cannot do it.
Supporting the humanitarian forum were TERE, a local NGO working to promote the inclusion of the vulnerable in society, who are also bringing on board the Senior Expertise Service in Germany to try and mobilize support abroad for the project.
The SES is a foundation that is supported by the German economy for international cooperation. So I think the forum is a kickoff for the actual project that we are designing and that we are trying to develop. The project is a process that we are going to be involved in. So after this forum, we will now do the planning and the structuring for project applications, because we want to tap into different funding programs that we will identify, and that will bring money to the project so that the actual houses can really be built.
Attending the humanitarian forum were chiefs and traditional rulers, civil society organizations, and government agencies including NADMO, who all pledged their support for the cause. Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu pledged his support and called on all organizations and individuals who can support the project to come on board.
And don't think that you are in a nice house and therefore you cannot be bothered. Let us help. The pennies, the cities, when we put them together and we cry out, then people will come and help us with that small money that we have, so that we're able to provide these houses for the vulnerable.
Reporting for Joynews, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
We move to the middle belt of the country and stay with Precious Semevo. He reports that the Ahab for North Youth Coalition is appealing to aggrieved farmers and residents in the Ahab for North mining communities of Newmont, Ghana, to explore available redress channels before resorting to the court. Some affected people in the communities are in court to halt the operation of the company over the valuation of their properties and compensation differences. There is more in this report by Precious Semevo.
Plaintiff Enoch Kofi and 128 others are at the Sunyani High Court seeking to halt Newmont Half North Mines from going ahead to value their lands and other structures and pay compensation subsequently. This is a result of trust issues in the valuer chosen by the Resettlement Negotiation Committee. However, the Half North Youth Coalition says any attempt to delay the project will have far-reaching consequences on the communities and the youth, with about $850 million expected to be injected into the economy. They therefore appeal to the aggrieved individuals to explore the avenues available to resolve their differences to ensure that Tetre, Adroba, Susuanso, Afrisipa, and Yamfo are not denied the expected development and youth employment. Richard Adayebua, the second vice chairman of Half North Youth Coalition, addressed the press.
We are disturbed by this development, and it has far-reaching implications and can impact the single most important economic intervention in the Half North area as ever witnessed. We believe it will serve as a catalyst for community development, youth employment, and many opportunities for the youth in the area. Project development can have some social, economic, and environmental impact. But we believe that the best way of managing this impact is through healthy dialogue and not court injunction. That freezes the entire development. We therefore appeal to the individuals involved in this course action to bring their issues to the table for discussion, whilst paving way for the project development.
He further stated that while they will not watch for the activities of the mining company to negatively affect residents, they will also resist attempts to frustrate the process for selfish gains.
The coalition is passionate about this because of the impact of Newmont Ghana present in the area, even though mining operation has not started, including the award of scholarships, economic empowerment, employment opportunity, among others. Due to this impasse, all these benefits and the ongoing project of the various community has been put on hold. Whilst we will not allow Newmont Ghana Company to impact people negatively, we will also not compromise with anyone who would like to hold the project into ransom to the detriment of the youth, genuine farmers, property owners, and community members in the 5 Ahafo North community.
Precious Semevo, Joy Business, Tetre.
Mohammed Nuruddin reports that the current implementation rate of the Ghana Agricultural Sector Investment Program is 86%. This, he says, was accomplished by assisting smallholder farmers and fostering shared values and possibilities through the rice, maize, soya, and vegetable value chains. According to the National Program Coordinator, Kluche Kudomo, GAPE also invested in capacity building and training of smallholder farmers in good agricultural practices and climate change resilient technology. There is more in this report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
The 4-day workshop at Nkawie in the Ashanti region will prepare participants to become ambassadors who will engage and sensitize stakeholders, particularly farmers, about climate change and environmental sustainability in their organizations, communities, and schools.
This workshop aims at identifying champions and building their capacities among agribusinesses, farmer-based organizations, and other partners for climate change resilience. And if I'm talking about the champions, you are the champions here. The champions will be going through a 4-day residential training to enable them to become ambassadors. And the word here is ambassadors, who will be engaging and sensitizing stakeholders, especially farmers, on climate change and environmental sustainability within their groups, communities, and even schools and faith-based organizations. The Ghana Agricultural Sector Investment Program, GASIP, is being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and funded by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, with a loan of $36 million, and Smallholder Agriculture Program, that is ISAP, with a grant of $10 million coming from ISAP. The Adaptation for Smallholder Agriculture Program, ISAP, is IFAD's flagship program for channeling climate and environmental finance to smallholder farmers.
According to the National Program Coordinator, Richard K Nyarko, GASIP has made significant investments in rural infrastructure, including providing access roads to connect farmers to market, solar-powered boreholes for dry season vegetable production, and weather stations to provide accurate and timely weather information.
The current implementation status stands at 86%. This was achieved by supporting smallholder farmers and creating shared values and opportunities within the value chains of rice, maize, soya, and vegetables. GASIP over the last 2 years has achieved some remarkable successes which need to be emphasized. GASIP has heavily invested in rural infrastructure by providing roads to link farmers to markets, providing solar-powered boreholes to communities for dry season vegetable production. We have installed weather stations to provide accurate and timely weather information, and we have also developed 600 hectares of irrigable rice land for smallholder farmers. GASIP has distributed tractors, power tillers, and small rice harvesters to more than 628 communities throughout the country.
GASIP is also collaborating with agri-businesses to give smallholder farmers access to the market by signing them up to receive market price information from the Ghana Commodity Exchange. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Before we take a break, let's head back to the Bono region, where the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Joynews Ekufo, says the government is partnering with other stakeholders to guide the citizens, especially the young ones, against the dangers of online tools. She says with the continuous expansion of access to voice and data connectivity in rural communities, it is imperative to protect the cyber and digital infrastructure to ensure safe acquisition of knowledge in national development. There is more in this report by Precious Semevo.
A mentoring session for 1,000 girls from schools in all 6 districts preceded the climax of Girls in ICT in the Ahafo region at Achirensua Secondary School. The initiative, themed Access and Safety, saw participants trained in basic ICT skills and coding, among others. The Ahafo Regional Minister, George Boachi, thanked the organizers for their investment in preparing the youth, especially girls, to contribute to national development. The Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Joynews Ekufo, said 28 out of the 40 cell sites built from 2017 to 2019 are in the Ahafo region. She said they are on course to meet the target of 2016 cell sites by the end of 2023 to improve voice and data connectivity.
From November 2020 till today, under the Ghana Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project, we have built 769 cell sites on course to meet our target of 2016 by the end of next year. That's phase 1 of this project, because we know there are many more communities which are still not covered. And so we are developing the phase 2. We need to develop and grow the digital literacy and skills of all our children to be able to become solution providers and innovators to solve our socioeconomic problems for us and for the general growth of our country.
To ensure safe use of the digital space, the minister called for a partnership with stakeholders to guide and protect, especially the young girls.
We must protect our cyber and digital infrastructure and our nation and citizens' interventions online as well. Unfortunately, ICTs come with risks and opportunities. Programs that provide educational resources online may inadvertently create the means for cyberbullying, pornography, fraudulent and other kinds of online crime. We want to partner parents, guardians, teachers, elders of all faith-based organizations in our communities to help us to guide our young ones on the do's and don'ts in the use of online tools to develop their career paths to contribute to our development. Together, we can ensure that we get the best out of our girls. And so the Cyber Security Authority will come to educate these young girls.
12-year-old Juliet Delali of Sankore DAA JHS in the Sonafo South District was named the winner of the Hafu Girls in ICT competition. She took home 3,000 Ghana cedis, a laptop, and the establishment of a computer lab for her school. She said they are taking over the IT space.
The lesson on basic computer skills, scratch programming, and cyber security were very educative and at the same time whipped our interest in the study of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I believe that with this foundational training, the future looks bright and we are ready to take over the ICT space in the near future.
Precious Semevo, Joy Business at Rinsua.
We shall take a quick break. From our correspondent returns shortly with more. Stay with me. Welcome back from the break, and we head to the Upper West region where the Wa Circuit Court has granted bail to 3 suspects arrested in connection with the flogging of 2 lovebirds. They were granted bail in the sum of 3,000 Ghana cedis and 5 different sureties. And now to report.
Calm has returned to Wa following yesterday's storming of the Wa police station by some Irish youth in the Wa municipality. The Irish youth were demanding the release of 3 suspects who were arrested in connection with the flogging of 2 lovebirds at the One House Palace. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The Irish youth, numbering over 400, mounted several roadblocks, pelted the police with stones, amid singing local war songs. Upper West Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Peter Ndekur Anaburi, stated that the police responded by firing into the air several gunshots and tear gas toward them all.
And they were throwing stones, all sorts of missiles. But notwithstanding, the police managed to weather the storm and went all round to arrest about 18 to 20 of them, and they are currently in our custody. They will be put before court this morning.
Any casualties are recorded?
No casualty recorded, no injury. The only thing we recorded is that damaging of public property, and that is the street lights, which they pulled one down and broke it into pieces. And that is of great concern to the people of this nation.
25 persons were arrested and no injuries on any of the sides. The 3 persons that were arrested in connection with the flogging of the 2 lovebirds were arraigned before the Wa Circuit Court. Their 70-year-old driver, Isaku Mahama, 62-year-old farmer, Sidigo Usman, and 32-year-old mobile phone repairer, Busran Kidiri. Prosecuting Police Detective Sergeant Martin Dubache prayed on the court to keep the 3 accused persons in custody since they have not been able to arrest the prime suspect, whose name has been given as Degona Na Adam Seydou Pelpu, and that releasing them on bail could lead to interferences from some of the suspects who are at large. The presiding judge, Justice Jonathan Abu, refused to grant the wish of the prosecutor, arguing that since the 3 are not the persons who committed the act, there is no need keeping them in police custody. Apart from that, they have the name of the prime suspect and should use best policing methods to arrest him. In order not to further exacerbate the tension in the town, he granted the 3 accused persons bail in the sum of 3,000 Ghana cedis with 5 different sureties for each of the 3. He concluded, urging the accused persons to cooperate with the police for the latter to be able to finish their investigations on or before the adjourned court date of June 13, 2022. The 25 persons
who were arrested in Wednesday's face-off with the police demanding the release of the 3 suspects, were screened and properly profiled to 13. They were also granted bail by the court in the sum of 3,000 Ghana cedis and with 3 sureties. They are also to report to the police every other 2 days. Earlier in the day, the Upper West Regional Security Council, led by its chairman, Dr. Hafiz bin Sali, held an emergency meeting on the issue and later called on the World Overlord, now for CDC Philip IV, at his palace. The meeting was closed to the media, but was believed to be centered on finding legal ways to calm the tension in the Wa Township.
Reporting for Joynews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Stay with me in the Central Region, and the St. Francis Xavier Hospital at Asimfosu in the Central Region has been rated a level 4 health facility among the Christian Health Association of Ghana health facilities from an international assessing body. The hospital at Asimfosu serves more than 6 districts in the Central Region and is yearning for a referral health facility status. I've been learning more about the kind of care the hospital renders.
They do know, but sometimes there's misconception that when they see it, they said the baby has got ashram, so they will stay at home and do all manner of traditional medications until it reached the latter stage before they come.
Vivian Kodia is the nurse in charge of the neonatal intensive care unit at the St. Francis Xavier Hospital here at Asimfosu, telling how the hospital has been tackling neonatal jaundice, one of the major challenges mothers in the operational area face.
Test the brain. When the child grows up, he will have more disabilities like brain damage, like deafness. Some even can't walk because of all this neonatal jaundice. When cancer sets in, that's the end of the baby. So the earlier you report, the better the outcome. For the condition they know, but they don't know the actual name, or they don't know there's a treatment for it.
The hospital is situated along the Cape Coast Kumasi Highway and takes care of the major emergencies, including road crashes on that stretch. This emergency nurse sums up what they go through and how they've been very responsive to the needs of the people.
We serve the Asin North, Central, and then Asin South. And we have people coming as far as from Ashanti region, New Edubiasi, to this place. People come along from Cape Coast, Isikuma, Odobimba, Akwa districts. Some of them also come here. And then Oda, going to the Eastern region side, people from Oda also come around. So all cases, accident cases especially, the main road, the highway from Cape Coast to Kumasi. So we have a lot of accident cases coming in, day in and day out. Any diabetes, there are complications, they come in. Children with convulsions are brought in here. Snake bites, this season of raining, we have a lot of snake bites also coming around.
Beyond this unit, the hospital has been recording huge successes in terms of maternal care delivery.
We have been rated as a level 4 facility among the CHAG facility, which is a great achievement from an international body. It's like patting us at our back for the work we have done.
The sister in charge of the St. Francis Xavier Hospital at Asimfosu, Sister Georgina Donzi, says the hospital's current rating by the International Health Assessing Body comes as no surprise because of the kind of care they deliver to the people.
Financing, which is not easy, because to improve on the care, we need human resources, equipment, and all the other logistics to improve on the care. But if the money or resources are not available, it's difficult even to give the best of care we aim at giving to people. Because we need people, human resource, train them, give in-service training so that our care will always be the best.
She assures that the recognition will spur them on to deliver a more quality health care to the people.
We would like to add other services that are not available. Talking to you, like yesterday, we were even at one of the villages to see one of the chiefs regarding a land. So that in the future, when we don't even have the land here, some of the services can be relocated there. We have a recommendation here. We say we also have senior staff here. We wish if Chad could train some of our people in-house so that we'll have them on the ground and then the assessment could be done within.
The hospital aims at becoming a referral facility that would handle major cases that are often referred to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital and the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Reporting for Joynews, Richard K Nyarko, St. Francis Xavier Hospital, Asimfosu. So stay with me in the Central Region, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is courting support of all students in the country in this year's Green Ghana exercise. Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Owusu-Bio, says the over 8 million hectares of forest in Ghana has dire consequences to the livelihoods of mankind and serious implications for climate change. Speaking at the launch of the 2022 One Student, One Tree initiative at the Agri Memorial Senior High School in Cape Coast, the Deputy Minister indicated there is an urgent need to make continuous effort to reverse the trend. There is more in this report. According to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the impending Green Ghana Day is to encourage students to develop the habit of planting trees and nurture them to maturity as part of efforts to restore Ghana's lost forest cover. Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Owusu-Bio, at the launch of this year's One Student, One Tree initiative, indicated to reduce the effect of climate change, government has resorted to forest and nature-based solutions and want all hands on deck.
Here in Ghana, some 8 million hectares of forest has serious implications for climate change, which has dire consequences to the livelihoods of mankind, and hence the urgent need to make continuous efforts to reverse the trend. The target for this year's Green Ghana Day, which has been slated for June 10th, 2022, that is exactly a week from today, is to plant at least 20 million trees across the country. My dear students, recognizing you as the future leaders of our dear country, we launched the maiden edition of the One Student, One Tree initiative last year at the Accra High School as the students' component of the Green Ghana Day. Today, we are launching the 2022 edition of the One Student, One Tree initiative at the Agri Memorial AME Zion Senior High School here in Cape Coast. We respectfully request all students in Ghana to plant a tree each, grow it, and nurture it to maturity. This you can do, for instance, by tagging your name to each tree that you plant, so that even while you have completed school, your colleagues, especially your friends who will still be on campus, will continue to maintain the trees on your behalf.
On March 1, 2022, President Akufo-Addo launched the 2022 edition of the Green Ghana Day under the theme Mobilizing for a Greener Future. Central Regional Minister Justina Marigold says the region will once again exceed its target, just as it exceeded its target in last year's exercise.
Today's events will energize our students to develop the spirit of patriotism, gain practical knowledge regarding the life cycle of trees and appropriate nature. The Regional Coordinating Council pledges its maximum support and cooperation to make the project a success. We will continue to foster effective collaboration with all agencies and institutions in order to exceed our target once again in the region. I therefore entreat all of us, especially the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, to champion the cause to ensure effective and active participation of all indigenes and institutions. In furtherance to this, I urge the assemblies to intensify public education on this laudable program by including the chiefs and opinion leaders in their circles.
The One Student, One Tree initiative was launched last year at the Accra High School, and this year's has been launched at the Agri Memorial AME Zion School. Reporting for Joynews, Richard K Nyarko, Cape Coast. And that's our show for today. Many thanks for watching. My name is Richard K Nyarko. I'll see you again same time next week.